What's good, everybody? Hello. So, Amanda and I are here, and today we want to share with you our updated styling routines. This is what we're currently using. And if you don't know us, we are from Canada, Toronto, and in most places of the world, unless you're Australian, in that case, or Nor, it's your winter. Forget I said that. But it's summer, it's spring, things are heating up, humidity is happening. So we're going to share with you our updated routines. We're going to share live styling with you, so you'll see everything in real time. And then we will have to dry, right?
Yes. And during the drying time, we're going to be doing a question and answer. So when Mel goes to dry her hair, I'm going to be answering all your questions that you may have for me and vice versa. So we're really excited about that. And we want to try to get this done within an hour. So we don't want to waste any time. Let's get right into styling.
I'm going to say this is totally doable because styling shouldn't take you longer than an hour.
My hair is starting to dry, so I'm going to have to wet it down. For me, it's really important that I start on very damp hair. Because I find I get the best results that way. So I'm just going to wet down my hair. Let me know if you're the same.
Now, for me, we're just going to reel back here for a second. Of course, we're going to be prep, styling, and finishing. So we always want to prep our hair. Wetting the hair, starting on wet hair, is kind of part of the prep. Water is an ingredient in most of our products. It's also an ingredient for our hair that we kind of want in order to make sure we have the right amount of moisture. So my hair is also wet, but it's more on like the damp, wet side. My hair doesn't take as long to dry as Amanda's in terms of, it holds water better because it's a healthier porosity. So I'm going to be going in with a very light leave-in to prep. You know her. This is the Eva NYC Mean Magic. This is actually almost like a water, except there's no water in the formula. It's just super lightweight like water. This is going to help give my hair a little bit of a protective barrier without weighing it down. No cream. Something you will see as I go through my personal routine is I don't really use a lot of creams anymore because I have healthy, basically uncolored hair.
So we're gonna have all the products that we're using linked in the description. I don't think they're there yet, but we'll make sure to post them after the live so you can check out all the products that we're using. Now, I'm going to be skipping a leave-in conditioner because I've actually been doing the K18 treatment. I don't know if you've heard about K18 before. It's like another level of Olaplex, I would say.
Olaplex and K18 are different. They have different technologies, but they're both helping to strengthen and repair bonds in ways that we previously had never seen the hair be repaired.
And it's a very specific way that you have to use this because if you didn't know, I color my hair, I highlight my hair a lot, and my wedding is this year. So I want to make sure that although I'm highlighting my hair, I want to make sure that I'm keeping it healthy. So I'm currently doing K18 for 6 weeks every time I wash my hair. That means I wash my hair and then I skip conditioner and apply just this treatment to the hair.
So you haven't applied conditioner?
No, I have not applied conditioner. You're not supposed to apply conditioner when you're using K18.
And you know you have to let that sit for 4 minutes.
Yes, I'm aware.
Just making
sure. It's a very specific way. We have a whole video about K18 on how to use it, but yeah, I'm currently back on my 6-week journey of using this because I will be refreshing my highlights soon, as well as I do plan on like blowing out my hair in the next couple of weeks. So I want to make sure my hair is really healthy.
Now, since my hair is already really healthy, I was just talking about this on my stories. I feel like I need to damage my hair, but we'll talk about that. We can talk about that a little bit more in the Q&A. I want to get my styler in. And as an update, it's not really an update. I'm still using the Verb Curl Foaming Gel that I co-created with them. I mean, it works year-round. It's great in humidity, which is something we're really looking for right now. I'm going to apply a little bit all over. Okay, like I said, humidity is happening, at least where we are, unless you're in the desert. Really, the tips for achieving frizz-free hair in humidity is the same all around. You want to make sure that there's good amount of moisture in your hair. So we're, regulating the moisture levels. Want to make sure there's good moisture, and we're sealing and blocking it all off. So a lot of products will have good humidity defending ingredients in them. This one has great stuff. And why I use it as kind of my only styler right now, for now, is it is really moisturizing for a gel. So I'm going to be using this and brushing it through, even though for gel, that's not something we always do. Amanda,
Now,
what do you do?
if you didn't know, Mel and I have very different hair types. We should have probably mentioned that if you are new here. I have very coarse, high density hair, and I wouldn't say very coarse, like medium-ish.
And it's got a medium to coarse texture.
Yes,
It's
and then
high porosity because
high
we do color
porosity.
treat it.
I highlight my hair, and it's much longer, and I just have a lot of it. It's just there's a lot of hair here, and because I've been coloring my hair does get dry. So I like to use thicker creams, and I like to use a lot of different creams. So I prep my hair with the leave-in from K18, and then, which by the way, I already prepped my hair with. I just put a little in right now just to show you that I'm using it. I already did it prior to this
I was going to
because
say,
I needed to hydrate my hair before. I showered like 2 hours ago, so it needed to be done.
with K18, you want to put it on your freshly washed hair.
Yeah.
While the cuticle is nice and fresh and open, so it can really.
Exactly. So now I'm going to be applying a curl cream. There's a few different curl creams that I go between. This is one of them. It's the Moroccanoil Curl Defining Cream. I like this because it's super thick and rich. I love the smell of it as well.
Honey, you're super thick and rich.
A little bit really does go a long way of this. Like this is not a normal amount that I would take with a more water-based cream, something like the AG Curl Defining Gel cream that I also do like to use. But yeah, this smells so good, and it works really well with the gel that I like to pair it with. So I've been really, really enjoying this whole combo here.
Now, I don't actually use this product. I don't think I ever have on my own hair, but
every time I wear it, someone's like, your hair smells amazing. It's if you love the smell of Moroccanoil, like argan oil, you would love it. It's so good.
Yes, smell-wise, Moroccanoil you can smell from a mile away.
Yeah,
but
and I like
also the thing about this curl cream and Moroccanoil products in general is they are very rich in the silicones. We know what the silicones are. Hands up if you are afraid of them, because maybe we can help debunk some silicone fear-mongering going on, especially in the summertime, especially in humidity. This has dimethicone, which is going to be so great for making sure that your hair has a healthy coating, protecting it from humidity, giving it shine, keeping it soft, all of the things that we really look for, especially in this season.
Yeah, so I like to apply all my products in sections to make sure, again, I have a lot of hair, so that really makes sure that I get product everywhere and I'm not like missing a piece. You know, when you just get those random frizzy pieces, it's probably because you're not distributing your product well. So that's why I prefer to apply everything in sections as well as brush through my curls. I'm using the Ultimate Detangler by Tangle Teezer. I prefer this not only for detangling, but also for styling because it's so easy and very gentle.
I was just going to say, Amanda, why aren't you using the Denman brush?
The Denman brush, I love the results. I used to use the Denman brush all the time, and I used to love the results it gave me, and I still do. But I find because my hair is so thick and coarse, especially when I get into the top area of my hair, I was ripping my hair out. Like it was really, really, really harsh on my hair, really hard to work through. And if you find the same, I would stop using it. Just stop using it. It's not worth it. It's not worth ripping out. For me, I didn't find it worth it, especially on the top area of my head. I was scared.
Yes, ma'am. We don't want you to be scared.
I was scared. I was losing a lot of hair up there. I'm not kidding.
I want to update you because we talked about this in a previous video. I talked about products that I'm not really using much anymore. And one of those was the Denman brush. But yet here I am still reaching for it because sometimes I do. Like the difference with this brush, like Amanda mentioned, is these bristles are firmer. So if you have a tangle, it's going to be a little bit rougher on your hair. Yeah. It's not a detangling brush. And if your hair is more fragile, something to be aware of, but it's still a good brush. It still works. It's all in how you use it. What products you're pairing it with. You always want to make sure your hair has good slip. So that's part of the reason why I'm brushing through my gel. This gel does brush through easily. Amanda's brushing through a cream, which has silicones and is slippery. These are the elements that we look for in our products in order to give us the results that we want and also ease of styling, because we can easily brush through all of our products right now, which you know that we like to brush style. You don't have to, you could use your fingers, but because we can easily brush it through, I mean, this is a breeze. We're already halfway through. And we are in good time. Remember, after this, after we finish applying our products, we're going to be taking turns going to diffuse.
I was gonna say,
we'll get to
yeah,
answer your
just for if
questions.
you're just joining the live, we're gonna be answering your questions while we dry our hair. So make sure to save your questions, or we'll get to them. I know we're not getting to them right now. It's because we want to make sure that we don't go over time on the live. So we will be answering your questions while we dry our hair. And it's honestly so hard to style my hair right now, looking in this little screen. So if you see me going over pieces, it's because I really want to make sure that they're nice and smooth down. When I do this, I get the most defined curls and they last me so long. So it's really, really important. This is like such a vital step in the whole styling routine, making sure that I'm working on damp hair, have enough product in it, as well as making sure to smooth it all in. See how smooth that is? No frizz. If you're seeing frizz,
silky smooth. Oh wow, that actually looks.
I know
Those are chunky. Those are chunky and clumpy.
See?
Those are gonna look beautiful. Something to note about
if you're seeing
curls,
frizz, like if you're seeing frizz already at this point, like see, this is a trouble area for me. This one piece right here. So I tend to wet it down again, and I'll apply a little bit more product because it needs a little bit more love, and I'll also apply a little bit more gel in that area too when we get there. But pay attention and give extra love to those areas.
Yes. I wanted to note on the appearance of the curls. If they're really looking chunky and clumpy right now, it's going to look beautiful. Just know it might take away from some of the volume. Okay. Sometimes a little bit of frizz, if you shake it out, will give you more volume. Now, since I've moved on to the top section, are you moving on too? Look at us. Look at us. We're on time. We are in line.
We do this a little bit differently because, again, I have a lot more hair. So
we do things a little bit differently.
Mel show you what she does first.
So,
and I'm going to wet this down.
If you weren't mesmerized by Amanda, you might have seen that I already brushed my hair with the detangling brush. See how I swap back and forth? And if I'm feeling lazy, I'll just stick to the one. But see how I already brushed all of this product through. And this section, you brush it one way, you brush it the other way. Brushing your roots in multiple directions will confuse them so that they don't know how to part. That's what you want to do if you don't like to see a parting. If your hair knows where it wants to go and you usually have that line in your hair and you don't want to see that, make sure you confuse your roots by brushing in multiple directions. And I want to share with you, I've been sharing my herringbone technique also that we can bricklay the top section in order to get a no part situation. But let me share with you a very easy way to do it if you do struggle with that. So I'm going to part the top in half. This will make sure that you don't take too big of sections. Now clip some of this out of my face. And we're going to do one side at a time, taking diagonals. You actually really started taking diagonals with the top section of your hair.
But because I was just waiting for you to finish, but because I am on the top section of my hair, I'm above the temple, the same area as Mel, but because I have so much more hair, I like to divide this section in 3. So I'm going to take smaller sections from these 2 corners of my head, leaving a really small, narrow section here. I just find it much easier to work through that way. So I'm taking this small section right here. I'm going to take the same section on this side as well. I applied a little bit more of my curl cream, and I'm going to brush and define these curls, and then I'm going to do the same thing that Mel's doing to the small section left, but I just find that I need to divide it further because I do have a lot more hair.
Now, take a look, see here. When we're doing the ribbon curl, when we're brush styling, okay, you do see, I do advise that you kind of sandwich your hair between the brush and your hand. And that's going to help you get like really smooth, clumped, defined looks. But sometimes on the top section of your hair, it's hard to do. Like it's a lot of arm movements. And so that's what's kind of nice about the Denman brush. When you look at it, the profile, the size is almost like a roller. And so if we curl the brush towards the end, all right, watch me very carefully. Watch me closely. We're going to in at the root, lift, and then curve the brush. That is still going to give us tension to make that curl really bounce back. And if you're doing this, you're making sure that your hair is in the right state, that it is healthy and, maybe not, breaking and color treated already. You want to make sure your hair is healthy enough when you are doing techniques like this. Maybe this is a little bit advanced. Let me know. We'll address some more questions, of course, like we mentioned.
So I'm taking my other section now, the one on the other side, and this is the last section that I'll take. I'll do that all at once, but yeah.
Amanda's got a big head, and therefore she must separate all hair as needed.
And as well apply in sections. Do you apply in sections, or do you find it easier to just apply everything all at once? And I tried that, but I feel like I never get enough product that way.
A lot of people, and I'm not saying you, but those who do not watch the channel, or people that are in a rush, typically, they won't want to section their hair. They think that's saving you time, but that's not saving you time.
It doesn't save me time. I'll just find myself going over the same section a million times and then have terrible results and then have to wash my hair the next day if I ever do that.
Now, I've been really working on my Australian accent. Or nor is where I'm currently at, but it's not good. Where are my Aussies? How is your winter? It looks like as a Canadian, you're doing great, sweeties. I am very jealous. But okay, so I wanted to show you, now that I did this side, instead of taking it all your section at once, doing diagonal back and forth, you take all the diagonals on this side, and now I'm taking all my diagonals on this side. And then I'm going to be done in about 4 more sections. And I'm not sure how much time that has been, but it's giving 5 minutes to style my entire head, defining the curls before drying.
Now I'm just moving on to the top section, and then I'll be done as well. And I too like to take diagonal sections. I'll show you how I do it. I'm getting water all over the equipment here, but that's all right. I'll show you how I style the top of my head. Again, I made sure to wet it down because this is drying. It's drying. So we got to move quickly. Apply a little bit more curl cream.
Make sure we are rapidly moving. We do a little finger coil around the bangs. We're almost at the
question and answer section. Like, we'll be there in 5 minutes. As soon as I'm done this section and apply our gels.
Well, I'm basically there. I have now prepped. I've applied my styler. I styled, defining my curls with my brush. Now, this is something that I do, and this is something that's great for my wavies or other people that have fine and or soft hair. Like if your hair is chronically soft, it's not holding styles, you want to get yourself a texture spray. Now, this specifically is the AG Curl Trigger. It's a defining spray. But what gives texture is this has magnesium sulfate, which is a salt. And that's going to help to really add a little bit of texture, body, a little crunch, and even curl enhancement in your style. So I like to spray this just over top. Now I could spray it in my hand, and I'll show you what the texture looks like. It's very lightweight. It almost looks like a milk. You see that? So sometimes if you want more control using a spray, spray it on your hands and smooth it over. Or you can go willy-nilly. I'm going to apply this everywhere. I don't know where willy-nilly came from, but I'd like to meet willy-nilly and, thank them for their services.
Okay, so I'm taking my diagonal sections now. You can see they're very small. I find it much easier to style the top section of my head if I'm taking smaller sections. No, this isn't going to take a lot of time away from my styling routine. This is actually saving me time, as we mentioned before. So again, it's really simple. Just making sure I'm taking each section on a diagonal. That's how I get that really voluminous look without having a part. And then my hair can really flip whichever way it wants when I'm done styling. So you'll see what I mean.
But we shall see.
And the brush is moving very easily throughout this section.
Because it's small. If you take too big of a section and you try to fit too much hair in your brush, you're not only going to cause tangles, you're not going to define the curls right. This is why it's good to take.
Yeah, don't take section sizes bigger than your brush for sure. And that's a wide brush. So
that's why paddle brushes are kind of nice. But
Do you see all that volume I'm getting?
Amanda, we see it.
It's amazing.
We see it and we believe it. Now, I believe you will keep everyone great company while I go to diffuse. I'm going to go do that in just a moment.
Okay.
Really quickly, before I go to dry my hair, I like to take out excess water with the damp towel that I have had around my shoulders this entire time. If your towel is damp, it will actually absorb more water. And so I'm using this now. We're going to do a little scrunching. Remove the excess weight. Okay.
Wow.
Beautiful.
We're making great time.
We're
It's
making
time
great
for some questions. I'm just going to apply my gel. I'm going to show you how I apply that.
Amanda's going to take over. I'm going to set my timer and I'm going to go and diffuse my hair and we'll be right back. Amanda's here.
I'm here. I'm here.
Take good care of them, okay?
I will.
I love you so much. And I'll be back with my results.
Bye.
BRB.
Okay. Now that she's done yapping.
Amanda, that's rude.
Okay, I'm going to apply my gel and then we're going to answer some questions. So I love to use the Curl Defining Styling Souffle from Curlsmith, specifically in the summer. I just love this. This combo together, you're going to see what I mean. It's so nice. This I find gives me really nice hold, but not super crunchy. It's very flexible hold. I take quite a bit, about that much. And I'm just going to smooth this all over my head. The Curlsmith's Curl Defining Souffle used to come in a tub, but now they have like this bigger version. So if you're already a lover of this product, I love this for us. I love this for us. So I'm just going to make sure to evenly distribute that on both hands. And then I'm just going to smooth it over. If I don't apply a gel to my hair will not last me. So if you're also someone that finds that their hair falls flat, it's really important to use a gel specifically if you're dealing with humidity, because it's going to hold everything as well as add more definition. So I never skip using a gel. And I'm not brushing this through. This is not a gel. It's very different than the curl foaming gel. This is something that you can brush through. I personally wouldn't. I think that's when a lot of people get those really stringy and you know what I'm talking about, like that hard cast. It's really stringy and gross. A lot of times if you're brushing through your gel, that's probably why you're getting those results. So I'm just lightly glazing it over my hair and I'm going to scrunch it all in and then answer your questions. Can you hear the scrunch? Okay. Let's answer a few questions. All right, we got a lot of questions. So Penny is asking, what is the best lightweight curl cream? A lightweight curl cream. So I personally don't use a lot of lightweight curl creams because I don't have very fine hair and I find thicker curl creams work for me. I do really like the AG Curl Defining cream. That one's really nice. So you can definitely check that one out. It's a great one and done as well because it gives hold to the hair. So you can skip using a gel if you find that also weighs down your hair. Definitely check that out. Oh my gosh, so many questions. Do you have advice for air drying when you don't have access to a hair dryer? Okay, this is a great question. I do have some advice for you. I advise that you don't go outside and let your hair air dry outside because depending on the weather outside, it can actually create frizz. So I tend to, if I do air dry, I will not go outside. I'm air drying if I'm just walking around the house. I also recommend that you wear something silky around your shoulders. So probably something more like a silk or satin scarf. So this way, when you're air drying and you're moving your hair around, you're not creating so much frizz and friction in this area, which I feel like is a problem area for all of us, which by the way, that reminds me, I like to apply a little bit more Love and Gel to that section. So I'm going to do that right now while I'm answering your questions. Can you try curly products from India? Yes, we try to do as much as we can. When we've been traveling, we've been trying to pick up products that aren't available to us. We recently just did a UK curly hair routine as well. So and Mel's going to Italy in the next couple weeks, so she's gonna be doing some products from there as well. Rochelle's asking, is the squish sound from water or product? It's a mix of both. So it's making sure that my hair, yes, has enough water in it, and then also making sure that I have enough product in it as well. Those two things are giving you that squishing sound. If you have enough product but not enough water, you're not going to get that result. Same as vice versa. So if you hear that really squishy sound, you can feel it, you'll know. What happens to your roots when you don't brush each section? So if you're struggling with a lot of frizz in your root area, your brush is going to be your best friend. For frizz in general, specifically at your root area as well, it's really, really important that you're brushing things through. Even if if you don't prefer to brush style your hair, at least making sure to thoroughly detangle your hair before you scrunch or finger coil, however you prefer to style your hair. It's really, really important to brush it through really well with your product and your water, because that's what's going to smooth all the frizz away. What else? What can I do? So Christine's asking, what can I do if I still have extremely frizzy hair when I do Mel's technique? Although my bonnet always falls off at night, what should I do? So when are you experiencing the frizz? That really, really depends. There's so many factors that could create frizz. And frizz isn't always a bad thing, by the way. Sometimes in order to get that volume, you need a little bit of frizz. We want like that middle ground. It just depends on the result that you want. But there's so many things that could go wrong in your styling routine. But if you're not already using a gel at the end of your routine, I definitely recommend to use a gel, because that's what's going to give you a longer lasting style. So, this is a great question. Does putting less product make for more volume / less dense? I wouldn't say it's the case for more volume. I think also volume is just genetic. It depends on your hair, how much hair you have. Sometimes if you just have finer hair, it's really hard to achieve volume. Yes, if you use a lot of product, it will weigh your hair down. But I think it's making sure that you're using your products correctly. It's really what's going to give you the desired result that you want. So make sure to read the back of the bottles of your products. I think a lot of us tend to skip that step. It's really, really important to read the instructions, because specifically something like K18, if you're not properly educating yourself on how to use it, you're not going to get the results that you want or that the product claims. So really make sure that you are reading your labels. I do recommend, okay, how do you know if you have fine hair? So I know that I have coarse hair specifically because when I take one single strand of my hair, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to pick that up on, like, that's a blonde hair, and you can see how thick that one strand is. That's how I know I have coarse hair. If this one strand is much finer and thinner to you, then you likely have finer hair. So that's how you know the difference between your hair. Let me show you another strand that's darker, if I can. Can you see that? Like, look how thick that one strand is. That's how I know I have coarse hair. Advice for retaining length. So I have long hair, and if you know me, I've always had long hair. I cut my hair short, and when I say short, to my shoulders one time, and I will never, ever, ever do it again. It's not the look for me. But something that there's a lot of things that I do that help me retain my length. When I specifically went to join my curly hair journey, I didn't want to chop all my hair off. That wasn't something that was something that I was interested in doing. So I wanted to make sure that I could get healthy hair without having to cut all my hair. So I did regular trims. I stopped bleaching my hair for that time period. I now bleach my hair again, not as often, and I make sure to take care of it in between, like using K18s and things like that. But regular trims, it doesn't mean you have to cut all your hair. Hair oils, I think, are very underrated. I coat my hair in some kind of hair oil every single time I wash my hair, pretty much every single day. I am refreshing my hair with strictly an oil. I don't do any other refreshing besides just applying an oil to my hair. And I really do think that helps coat and protect my ends, hence preventing split ends. But also because I do have coarse hair, I'm not as prone to split ends. So it may be a little bit easier for me, someone with coarser hair, to grow my hair and retain my length rather than someone with finer hair, because finer hair does experience split ends a lot more easier. So if you have finer hair, go for more regular trims. I can get away with a long time in between my trims because I do take care of my hair and because it is coarse. Tips for sleeping with my curls underneath don't get straightened out. So my curls underneath don't get straightened out. Okay, so sometimes this is inevitable. I mean, we all pull our hair up when we are sleeping to help protect it. So these pieces, it happens to all of us. It happens to me too. They do get straightened out. You can simply just wet them down again in the morning and refresh it. I usually just take a little bit of a hair oil again, and I'll just smooth over those pieces and recurl them. They'll usually find their form back afterwards, but it's really, don't stress about those things because it happens to everybody and there's no way to fully avoid it. I think so many people stress about how to sleep with curly hair, and there's no right or wrong. I mean, I wear the bonnet, I sleep with a silk pillowcase, and sometimes in the morning, depending on how I slept that night, I'm a little wonky. It's not the end of the world. We can always fix it, and curly hair is wild. I think we can all relate to that. Okay. Advice for itchy, flaky scalp, even after using clarifying shampoos. Okay, so Mel always says our scalp is skin, and I do have an itchy scalp. I can get dry skin on my scalp, specifically in the winter. This isn't something that I deal with as often in the summer, which is nice. But you have to make sure that you're hydrating your scalp. You're using a clarifying shampoo, but are you hydrating your scalp afterwards? Are you using some kind of scalp mask that's hydrating, or a serum? I personally love to use a scalp serum. There's so many out there that you can use. I like the one from Way. It is a little bit pricey though. I'm trying to find a more affordable version, but that's one of my absolute favorites. And Mel's back. Wow.
Hi gang, so what'd I miss? I felt like I just diffused for, well, approximately 11 minutes. 10 if we count the time from walking.
Were you timing
to the
yourself?
washroom. I did time myself.
Amazing.
Holding myself accountable.
I'm gonna be a lot longer, but it's okay. It's gonna leave you time to ask Mel all your questions. We're gonna try to wrap up this live within the next 15 to 20 minutes. So
will your hair be dry? Stay tuned to find out.
My hair usually takes 20 minutes. If I'm using the Dyson Supersonic, so that's why I'll get really fast drying results. But otherwise, I'd be there for 45.
I did think you were going to plop. However, here we are.
I didn't. Did
you get distracted in the live chat?
Usually I would plot my hair, but because I wasn't styling on super damp hair straight out of the shower, I noticed that some areas were a little bit drier, and that would actually result in more frizz because my hair wasn't super wet. I only plot my hair if my hair's super wet, like I'm straight out of the shower, and then I'll plot. But otherwise, I skip that step.
I guess you also don't want to absorb too much of your product because you need a little extra hold.
Yeah.
When your hair, hello, let me just center myself now. Hi, everybody. I'm back. The hair is dry. We'll finish in a second. I don't know what I missed when you were chatting with Amanda, but let me explain just gel, humidity, silicones, finishing for a sec. When your hair is a little bit on the looser side, it doesn't fully ringlet. It doesn't hold itself as well as it would on its own, which is why using a stronger hold gel and maybe not styling on sopping wet hair will give you stronger hold. So I know a lot of people struggle with getting that crunch on your hair, which especially in humidity will give you longer lasting styling. So let me know. Ask me your questions now. What do you question about styling? Megan's asking, don't want to interrupt. Oh, honey, no interrupting. We are officially in the Q&A. You wanted to thank us both for working so hard. We help you feel more confident about your curls and improve your hair health. That's what we are here to do. Thank you so much for your sweet comment. I love this. Okay, so now that you can see me up close, this is my hair in its cast. And I want to see, as you know, we prep, style, dry via diffusing, preferably. And then we finish. Finishing is extremely important to achieve the look that we want. Part of this cast, like you could leave this if you want, if you'd like a little bit more of a controlled look, this crunchy look, you could leave this if you want more hold. Part of this is from my gel, but also using the Curl Trigger Defining Spray. I saw a question come in about salt. Salt that is in this magnesium sulfate, which is actually Epsom salt. Can that make people's hair curlier? We see a lot of wavies and even people with straight hair use that in their hair this season. You know, summertime, they want that beachy look, and sometimes it can give the result of texture. That is not your eyes deceiving you. Salt will draw moisture from the outside of your hair to the outside, and it will increase the amount of hydrogen bonds that are in your hair, which can result in a curlier effect. When there's a lot of moisture and humidity, there's not going to be as much curl going on because moisture is going to weigh your hair down. Water and heat is what breaks the hydrogen bonds that give our hair our final shape. And so by adding this to our hair, it's going to help increase the amount of hydrogen bonds. It'll help dry the hair quicker. Can also lead to drying out the hair if you go aggressive or you don't use a good formula. This is very hydrating, so I do like this. It's my go-to. Over half done. But using a salt spray at the end of your routine after you've gotten in your cream will help enhance your curl a little bit, give a little texture, grittiness, so my hair doesn't actually feel too soft. Too soft is a problem. And which is why I don't always go in with a serum afterwards. Let me explain. I have a question. Samantha, thank you so much. That is so sweet of you. And Barnes is saying, love your videos, but they have left me super confused on the whole oil debate. Oh, well, it's perfect timing that we're here. So Black Girl Curls, I've seen them on TikTok, says oils are bad, but you say the contrary. Please enlighten us. I'm just saying what the science says and what has been proven to enhance and help the health of our hair. If your goal is to encourage length, to keep your cuticle intact, prevent split ends, all that jazz, then oils are in fact going to be your best friend. Oils don't dry out the hair. Oils, the only issue with oils is if you are not using them properly in your routine. So if you're using them at the wrong time, and if you're not properly cleansing them. The reason why we talk about a routine as a whole, prep, style, finish, is every step is important. Okay, finish, and we do like to finish with a finishing oil. Sometimes, if I'm just home, I'm not going outside, my hair's already soft, sometimes I skip it, okay? But using an oil is gonna help block out the water, which, contrary to popular belief, is what we want to see. So a lot of curly hair specialists are, pro water, anti-oil, anti-silicone, anti-butters, anti all that, because water does help give this chunky effect to the curl. And I'm not knocking water, but using water and then oil afterwards will help keep this result, maintain the health of your hair, prevent too much swelling in humidity. And at the end of the day, it's not going to be for everybody. So here's if you are a good candidate for oil as I apply mine. This is the Verb Ghost Oil. You've seen us use probably 100 million times if you have been here. This is an oil that does contain silicones. Part of the reason why I do really like to use it, but you can also use a mineral oil or some kind of other serum that has those types of ingredients. They're the ones that are going to be the most effective in humidity for that reason. That's why we use it. We use it when the air outside is not like the air in our hair. So anytime there's a change, and it doesn't have to be humidity, it could also be extreme dryness. If outside is very different from what's going on in your regular environment, or at least the environment that you styled your hair in, your hair is going to have a reaction, and it's usually going to result in a lot of frizz. I am just working this into my hands and applying it to my hair. Oil serums will help to create that barrier so that the humidity or the dryness outside will not affect our hair or affect our style. We use it to lock everything in. I hope, Barnes, I hope that's answering part of your question. Keep the questions coming. But this barrier, which a lot of people, fearmonger and consider buildup, is kind of exactly what we want. We do want that buildup. It's all about having balance in your routine. Balance is something I talk about a lot. If you balance, your heavier leave-ins or your heavy products with a lot of water in your hair, or you balance your really lightweight products by adding a little bit of an oil afterwards, and you clarify your hair after using heavyweight products, your hair is going to be happy. Our hair changes every day, so you can't keep a consistent routine, which is why we do like to work intuitively, which is why I apply oil as needed. I'm applying it now because I want to fluff out these results, and I want to show you how weightless it can still be. Oils do not have to weigh the hair down. Depends on the formula you are using. But when you use them on dry hair like this, you are going to help to lock in the moisture and the style that is here. So it's all up to you. If your hair is extra soft, it's already super healthy, shiny, low porosity, then oil is not a necessity for you. It's definitely not something to be demonized. It's nothing that's bad for your hair. And if you have medium to high porosity, or extra high porosity color treated hair, bleach, it is going to be your best friend for keeping and maintaining and giving the appearance. Even if we're faking it, okay, we're making it, okay? It's giving the appearance of shine. It's making your hair feel softer. And at the end of the day, that's what we want, right? Especially if it's not damaging. Bottom line, oils are not going to damage your hair. Just make sure you're cleansing and you're good. And then when you're fluffing, I mean, you're going to get results like this, Barnes, I hope that answered your question. Let me see what else we have coming in, because I'm actually not quite done. Although I have finished with my oil, there are other ways that we can finish our hair. In case you do have really soft hair, you could also use hairspray. You could also use a texture spray. And I have my chosen favorites. This is my go-to texture spray, which I am about to use to add some extra oomph, some extra body and volume to my hair. It's a texture spray that is dry versus, okay, I know I call this a texture spray. Technically, it's just called a curl defining spray, which you can use on dry hair. You could actually use this to refresh, to get a little curl back. That's why and it gives texture, so I call it a texture spray, but this is a curl defining spray. It's very wet. This is dry. This won't give you any wetness to your hair, which I'll apply in just a second. I've got to get, let me see what you're saying. Let me see what you're saying. When I do your exact technique with leave-in, it's leave-in and gel, it still turns out way too frizzy when dry. Also, my bonnet falls off. Are you a wild sleeper? You must be a wild sleeper. What should you do? Well, it's hard for me to answer a question like that without knowing more about your hair. Maybe if your hair is on the healthier side, not crazy color treated, you don't need so much of a leave-in conditioner that is very creamy. Maybe you just need something that's going to help still prime and protect your hair, giving it some slip, giving it some heat protection, giving it some UV protection, and use something super lightweight like this. This is what I had used today. So leave-in conditioner may not be for everybody. A gel is what's going to give you the hold and style longevity out of your hair. So I recommend using a leave-in conditioner and continuing to use that if your hair is definitely on the dry side, which you guys will see as we progress into the season. We may need, because the elements are super damaging, which is why more than ever we should be using something with heat and UV protection. Okay, this is your friendly reminder. We're not messing around this season. Okay, let me see. What is the order of products that I need to follow as a person who has just found out about their hair? Toby, I'd love to answer that question for you. So we prepped with the prep involves your shampoo, conditioner, and your leave-in conditioner or hair primer. So that's that phase. Style, we layer on, you may use a styling cream if you like a curl defining cream. You can use a gel, you can use mousse, you can use a combination, you can do whatever you choose. In the style phase, I do like to define the curls. We go in and define the curls with a brush. You might choose to just rake, squeeze, scrunch, however you like. There's many different ways. Maybe you finger coil, then we dry, and then we finish. So now that I've applied oil, I'm going to continue to truly finish off my hair using my texture spray. And I will actually just do this on one side of my head first so you can see how she works. Okay, let's choose. They're pretty much the same volume, even though my hair is parted. See how my hair is parted though? See how you can't really see the parts. You can flip this hair wherever you want. This zigzag motion will really help hide the scalp. I can flip this hair over here with a little clipping of the bangs. If you want to train the bangs out of your face, clip them while you are drying. So that way they set in that place. So I can flip the hair over here. I can flip the hair over there. I can split the hair, even if I still want a side part, which I am a side part curly. Even if I want a side part, I do like to kind of diagonal things and make it center parted towards the back to keep the volume and body even on both sides. Because I don't want to look too asymmetrical. You know what I mean? So now that, okay, we've got the same amount of hair on both sides, I'm going to spray the texture spray. We're going to shake it really well. And Erica is saying, oh, sorry, Ercelia, I hope I said your name right, is asking, how do I prevent open ends? Open ends, I'm assuming you're saying is hair that starts, if it's frizzing at the ends, you may need a trim and you want to use a good stronghold gel. If you are scrunching, notice how I scrunched my hair from water at the end of my styling before I went to go diffuse. If you do that, you might absorb too much product from your ends. So you could always scrunch to remove excess water and then go in with another gel or a mousse, and that's going to give more hold to your ends. That'll keep the definition. So that, you can also use hairspray. Texture spray will also give hold. So after I shake, I'm going to lift my hair in sections. And I haven't actually done a lot of separating. So you'll see that there's a lot of clumping happening. But I'm going to spray like so. It smells delicious. It just got in my eyeball. Do. We already answered a lot of questions about oils. One more thing I will add to that, because I know that a lot of people avoid silicones because they are not considered, most silicones are not water soluble. If water soluble is something that is super important to you, then what I will recommend is looking on your ingredient list for silicones, and silicones are ingredients that end in cone or siloxane, but look at the ingredients, and if they have PEG or PPG in front of it, then it's a water-soluble silicone. Water-soluble silicones or even regular silicones are easily washed out with pretty much any cleanser. A lot of the times, sulfate-free cleansers are known to not cleanse your hair as well. Could be the case. Could just be the wrong formulation for you. Could also just be that you're not washing your hair properly. Before I styled my hair today with you, I did a clarifying shampoo. And I use clarifying shampoo probably once a week, every other wash or so. I am kind of washing my hair twice a week now. And when I use clarifying shampoo so regularly, I'm helping to remove all that buildup to keep my hair nice and lightweight so that it is able to absorb, my water and my products to get my curls looking healthy and chunky, all while using oils. But that's why clarifying shampoo is definitely helpful. And the clarifying shampoo I use is actually sulfate free. I use the Olaplex one, which I love. I love the Olaplex 4C. it's sulfate free and it's still going to be cleansing enough to remove all buildup. So it's all about the type of shampoo you're using as well as how you're using it. Are we double cleansing? Are we really massaging the roots? You know the 60-second rule for washing your face? Make it 2 for washing your ends. And on that note, I'm going to end my point and welcome back my C-Stare. Meta, let me move over. That is so fast.
13 minutes and 49 seconds. Again, that's because my hair,
holy crap,
it wasn't super, super wet as I usually do when I'm straight out of the shower. So my hair is going to dry faster. That's why I didn't plop it. If I plopped it, it would probably be so frizzy right now. But I wanted to show you the cast that I got from the Curl Defining Styling Souffle. It's such a long name. Pretty sure that's the name. But you can see I have a very light cast, but my hair doesn't feel super, super crunchy. But this is going to last me so long. You have no idea. It's so great. It works great in humidity. I always bring this product with me when I'm traveling.
What did you do differently? Because your hair usually takes 20 minutes to diffuse.
I'm telling you.
Is it still a little bit damp under there?
No, my shirt is.
Maybe a little bit damp.
My shirt.
Yeah.
It's not damp. It's, again, it wasn't super, super wet. So it was really, really fast. And I diffused on high speed, high heat. Which, going back to diffusers, I don't know if Mel answered this while I was gone, but I saw a question from Angie. She asked multiple times if we could recommend a good, inexpensive diffuser attachment.
So we have a universal attachment in our
Yeah.
Amazon store, which is what's cool about it is, and why we like our diffuser attachment is because it really diffuses the airflow.
Yes,
and
so that's why we prefer the Tyson, because the diffuser attachment has really, really fine holes. I should have brought it with me over here, but it has really fine holes. And if I hold it against my hair barely moves. And that's how I get that really great definition. So you can do this by experimenting on your own. Trying to find diffusers that have really fine holes is really important. We do have one, like Mel said, that we recommend. I'll make sure to link it in the caption of the video once this live is done, so you can get a link to it. We used to use it all the time. Oh, Anthony, our breather, brought us the diffuser.
Our tech man.
Yes. So it has, just look for diffusers that have really fine holes like this. And that's what's going to give you great, great definition and not a lot of frizz. Definitely recommend finding something like this. Again, we have a recommendation that we used to use all the time.
It's cool because you can actually adjust the airflow depending to your liking.
And it has a really deep bowl. So if you prefer that, and it works again on any hair dryer, it's universal. I'm going to make sure to link it for you guys, because I know a lot of you are looking for affordable options. And that's a really great, I think it's like 15 or 20 bucks. It's really cheap. If you already have a dryer, you can just plop it on there. And then there was one other question from Toby and Andy.
Oh, I think I answered.
Oh, you did?
What did they say?
What is a product?
What is the order of products?
Oh, you
I just answered that.
Yeah.
As I finished my hair. Sister, why don't you finish?
I'm going to finish my hair.
Your hair. And I gave the whole spiel over the ghost oil already.
Yeah, so I love the ghost oil. And you're going to see how much fuller my hair looks after this. If you're someone that uses gel and you hate how compressed your hair looks, this is going to give you that fullness back, right? So I'm going to do it to one half of my head so you can see that.
On the contrary, some people really like that controlled look.
Yeah.
And if you want to rock the wet look in the summer, which is a great style, it's perfect timing to wear it. Wearing a wet look in the winter is a little alarming. I mean, I would come up to you and ask you if you needed a towel. But in the summer, rocking the wet look, just keep that gel cast in, and the curls will look really good for the days to come.
Oh, by the way.
Yes, ma'am.
On my wash days when I'm done, okay, so wait, first of all, you can see how much fuller this side looks than this side. It even looks longer.
Wow.
Because I smoothed and I removed the cast.
Wow.
But I didn't remove it too much. There's still cast. I won't remove the entire cast the first day because I'm not going to get a long-lasting style that way, especially if I'm going outside.
Yeah.
Also, this is going to be in my head pretty much the entire afternoon.
The rest of the day?
The rest of the day, I'm just going to be home working, especially on my wash days. I'll leave this in for hours, especially if I'm home, and it's going to help mold my hair out of my face.
That's what I mentioned about setting the hair. The best time to set your hair is while it's still wet, so it can dry in that phase.
Yeah, I usually do this.
But you'll get a very intense crimping if you do that.
Yeah, if you want a lighter crimp, do it while it's dry. I do both. Depends on how much time I have that day. Do we have a C-Star question? Does anybody have a specific C-Star question
for the two of us?
For the 2 of us? Before we wrap up, we're going to wrap up in the next 3 minutes.
Elsa, sorry, we're like, are we
I know it's hard
blind?
for us to
Do we
see.
need glasses?
I
You have your
I
contacts
have
in.
to. But look at this. Look at this side by side.
Yeah, it looks snatched. It looks snatched. Elsa's asking for advice on getting blonde highlights. I wish I could get Amanda's color, but I don't know if it will ruin the curls. So I talked about my hair is just feeling a little too healthy now. And I am definitely influenced by the sun kiss that the sun is giving right now. So I do feel like adding a little bit of blonde to even my color. If you are also feeling influenced, I want to encourage you that you do not have to ruin your curls by lightening your hair. You do not have to use bleach, powdered bleach, or we call it lightener. Lightener is much more friendly. It's not the same bleach that you use in your toilet. Okay, let's just clarify that. If you want to use, you don't have to use that type of lightener to lighten the hair. High lift color, you can talk to your stylist about using high lift color. We have done videos doing Amanda's hair color using all the ways, but we have used high lift color to achieve her color highlight. What's really important to consider is the color of your root. If you want something really natural and sun-kissed like I'm looking for, aim for between 3 levels above your hair. If you go really, really, like I'm a level 6,
Yes.
5, 6. If
Slow
I
and
do a
steady.
level 10, if I do really, really platinum blonde, it's going to be really scary on my hair and also not look very natural, which I like to do for a natural look. So if you want to add some dimension into your curls, high lift will give you a subtle result without ruining your curls.
Everyone loves our matching outfits. We always make sure to match.
This is a cute dress
If
that I
you
got
didn't
on
know-
Amazon.
Yeah, if you didn't know, Mel and I are only 17 months apart, and we really are sisters.
We're
So
basically twins.
we grew up, my mom dressing us the same, and I think our first video on YouTube together, we dressed very similar, or the one that went viral. We were just the same, and we've just kind of stuck with it ever since. So that's
We didn't even mean to that time.
I-
I think
I
you
don't think
wore
we
the
meant
same
to.
color that I wore.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just a
I was wearing
telepathy
it
thing,
first.
but now we actually plan it because we think it's like, part of the fun. You guys really seem to enjoy it, and we do too. We love dressing to coordinate each other because we're always taking pictures and videos together. So it looks nice when we match.
Speaking of, a lot of questions are always about where we get our outfits. So like I said, this is from Amazon, but we do shop Dynamite. I feel like we shop a lot at
I've been
What
doing a
were
lot of
you
shopping at Revolve. I know.
Abercrombie.
Abercrombie is like my jam recently. I love it for buying really good basics that are not too pricey.
And if you guys find it helpful, we'll try to link our outfits at the end of or in the description box of our videos if you want to check them out.
I think we'll answer one more question because
Sure.
now we're at an hour mark, and
Or
I don't
more.
want to make this live too long. So did your parents successfully style your hair from young, or
No.
did they know how to
No.
care for it like
No.
you did? No. No.
No. We had to take over the reins at around 8. Amanda just like
I gave up on my curls.
she said, "This is not the life for me."
Yeah.
I took matters into my own hands and made it my duty to figure out how to work my curls. So
Our parents had no idea.
Yeah.
Our dad side is really where we got the curly hair from, and he has 4 brothers, and they all have curly hair, but they're men. They have short hair, so nobody really knew how to style curly hair. We didn't have anyone to turn to, and now Mel just kind of learned it on her own, and now we can all turn to her. So that's the point of our whole channel.
we had to learn, and now we tried to teach you, and
Yes.
we hope that
We hope you
our
found this
content
video
helpful.
really helpful as well. We were really glad you guys got to join the live. And if you didn't, thank you for watching the replay. We're going to have everything that we used and talked about linked in the description, as well as the affordable universal diffuser attachment. I'll make sure to really link that for you guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
I hope you found this helpful, seeing how we style in real time. It does not have to take all day. But it does take a village. Okay?
Yeah.
We use several products, but layering multiple products is always going to give you better results than putting all of your hope and faith and trust into one.
Yeah, so
Right?
we're going to head
Just
out now. If you want to rewatch this video, you can. It will be up on our channel.
And if we didn't get to your question,
Leave it in the comments. We'll try our best to answer as much.
Yeah,
as
we're
we
going to
can.
spend a lot of today answering your questions.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, everybody.
We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.